Hi everybody, and welcome back to a simple card using a fun technique. And today I'm introducing sort of a brand new technique. So the ones we've been using have been using a color combo to create a card, following a sketch, focusing on designer paper, creating a monochromatic card, and today I want to introduce casing a card. So let me show you what card we're going to make. Use the Over the Moon stamp set. This is a really cute stamp set with these cute little cows. You can color them a lot or you can color them a little bit, which is what I love about the set. And then it is on page 32 of our annual catalog. And we're going to make this card right here. And we're going to do a couple things a little bit different, and I want to show you how you can take and look at cards and case them and do the same card, but add a different flair to it, add a little bit, like do a couple things different to make it your own card, which is really a fun way to do a card and kind of get creative, especially if you're struggling. The whole point of this series is to help you guys find ways when you're struggling to make something, to be able to dive in and make something, or to make something quick, and to be using the supplies we're buying, because too often we buy supplies and then we don't use them, we don't play with them, we get overwhelmed. So that's the whole point of this series. So let's dive in, and we are going to use, I already have all the stamps we're going to use. We're going to use the grass, the little piece of grass, the little heart bubble, and then we're going to use this guy right here. So let's go ahead and get started. I have my cardstock and stuff here, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I did different. So the first thing is we're going to start with a Whisper White piece of cardstock. I cut this cardstock at 5.5, and then I folded it at 4 1/4, which is the opposite of what I normally do. So here's our card base. Next, I have a card front, and what I've done is I have added some texture to this piece of cardstock by using the Subtles embossing folder. There we go. You can just barely see that texture. So this is Granny Apple Green cardstock. And what I've done is I've just cut it at 4 1/4 by 5.5. It's going to fill the whole front of our card. And then I've used the Subtles embossing folder. Now, I have a huge collection of embossing folders. There's something that I rarely get rid of. If I buy an embossing folder, it's because I love it. And I want to be able to use it, and so I don't get rid of it. So now what I'm going to do, this is a 4 1/4 by 5.5, but what I want to do is go ahead and take a 1/4 inch off. So we'll make this 5 1/4 by 4. And you could do either way. You could do it either way. In our card, in the catalog, it's a whole card front. So you'll notice right away, one of the things that I'm doing different is I'm allowing my card to have a white border. Okay, so that's difference number 1. So this is how it will look. And then I can go ahead and attach this piece because we're doing nothing else to it. And then we'll get working on all of our stamping. Okay, so next what we have here is we have a piece of pink cardstock. This is Petal Pink, and it is at 2.5 by 3.5. And the next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and take our snips, and we're going to make a flagged end out of this. Like so. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we'll take our Flirty Flamingo ink. That's the ink that I'm choosing to use. And we'll take our heart bubble image here, and we're going to stamp like that. Super simple, right? Next, I'm just going to go ahead and do all of my stamping while I have everything out. The next piece I have is this tiny piece of mint macaroon. And for that, we're going to stamp Dream Big on it. And I want my Memento Black ink, because that's the ink I'll be using to stamp the cow so that I can color it with blends. So now I have these two pieces. I can set that aside. So now I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this piece is 3 inches by 2.5. Also need to stamp our little piece of grass, and then I'm going to zoom in and show you how I color. And I just followed the exact picture in the catalog as to the placement of all of these. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in and we'll start coloring. So what I did is I wanted to keep the coloring of this really simple. So I did a couple things, and I colored it a little different than they did in the catalog. So I did his feet black, and even though I'm not doing a lot of shading or a lot of technical coloring, I'm just keeping the coloring very, very simple. I'm still using blends simply because I love the way that they sort of turn out when you're coloring. You could definitely use colored pencils. You could do watercoloring with your ink pads. You could do whatever it is that you felt comfortable doing. I like doing the blends, and I'm pretty comfortable doing the blends, so that's what I usually pick. Okay, so then I did his spots black and his hair black, but what I realized after I had thought about coloring this way is if I did the black spots, I would have to do the black on his eye right here. And I felt like that it would cover the little line for his eye. So I just decided to do a gray spot right over his eye. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and use Flirty Flamingo. We're gonna start with the light Flirty Flamingo and fill this in really easy. I'm not being too careful with anything. And then I'm going to go in with the dark. And I'm going to do one side. So I'm kind of leaving this one part of the heart kind of lighter. And I feel like the Flirty Flamingo blend, I feel like it blends really well. It's like probably my favorite to blend because I feel like it just works really well for whatever reason. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is take this very light, this is a light petal pink, and I'm going to do this part of him. This light petal pink almost looks like a flesh color. I don't really think it looks more peachy to me. It doesn't really look pink to me. Okay. And then I just want to do something for his little bell. And so I'm actually going to do that in mint macaroon because that's the color of my cardstock right here. So for that, I'm actually just going to use a writer marker. Just because that's what I have on hand right here. Makes it easy for such a little space. Okay, so I did that coloring. And then now let me show you how we're going to put this card together. Okay, so in the catalog, it has this piece all the way to the top. Instead of me doing that all the way to the top of the card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it to the top of the green. And in the catalog, the picture has it sewed. The very top of that is sewed. Instead, I'm going to take some of this retired old olive linen thread. You may have picked this up before it retired. I love it. And I feel like even though it's not the same green as This is Granny Apple Green. It's not the same. I feel like it's still gonna work. So then what I want to do is just go ahead and tie a bow. So now we can add this piece here, and we can add this on dimensionals, or we can add it, let's add this part flat. So I'll put some adhesive right over the linen thread. And then again, instead of going all the way to the top of the card, I'm going to go all the way to the top of the green. We're going to put that right here, and then we're going to layer our image right here. And this part I definitely want to pop up. This piece is going to go right here. Oh, I forgot to color the grass, you guys. Let me see if I can manage to color the grass. Okay, so the way I'm going to color the grass, because I forgot to color that grass when we were doing it. I'm taking my Granny Apple Green ink, opening that up. I pinched it so there was some ink on the inside here. And I'm just going to add it with my Wink of Stella. So I'm starting with the darker part of the ink. When I first put it down, I'm starting kind of in that stamped image, and then I'm getting a very light part. And I feel like that's going to be the easiest thing to do, since I did forget to color it, and we already put the card together. That happens sometimes. And then let's go ahead and wipe off the Wink of Stella, and then I'll also put some Wink of Stella over the heart, just to add a little bit of shimmer and kind of tie it together. And then what we can do is just add our sentiment. And the last thing I'm going to do, which they don't do in the catalog, is I'm taking some of these glimmer dots here, and I'm going to add them to this corner. So you can see that there are several things that we did different to this card, to case this card, but it's another really fun and simple technique to do, and I love the way it came out, and I feel really accomplished that I was able to use this stamp set. And especially if you love a stamp set but you're not sure exactly how to use it, just copy the cards in the catalog. They're already there, they're already designed, and so just copy them, just case them. That's what we consider casing a card. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this card. I love this little these little cows here. This is Over the Moon, and you can now purchase it. The links are below if you would like to pick this up, and I would love to know if this is one of your new favorite stamps in the new catalog. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and watching my videos. Here are 2 other of my most recent videos. I would love for you guys to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will catch you in my next video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.